Don't forget to go to ashkicking.com for pound the best home health and beauty fragrance products.
I'm not fighting no more. Kelly, let me do my job. I just told you I didn't want to do no interviews, and you said you are going to do interviews. Now you told me to do interviews. Now you're trying to take me away from them. No. Let me show Dante's Boxing Nation some love.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So the big fight is today, Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter, and with all the talk of Mikey calling out Errol Spence and Errol Spence saying he's ready, him coming to the fight, this fight is just getting bigger and bigger. Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter, because there's more on the line now, but I wanted to talk about the purses that were paid to Robert Easter and Mikey Garcia, which I think is a pretty impressive purse. According to reports, Mikey Garcia is getting paid $1 million and Robert Easter is getting paid $500,000. Also, according to reports, they said overall, both fighters are going to get paid more than that. Now, these purses, especially Robert Easter's purse, $500,000, it proves that Robert Easter, he really wanted this fight bad. For those of you guys who don't know the whole story, Robert Easter's been calling out Mikey Garcia for almost 2 years. In fact, before Mikey Garcia fought against Sergey Lipinets, Al Heyman and Robert Easter, they were really trying to make the Mikey Garcia fight. Mikey Garcia at that time actually turned down the fight. He said there wasn't enough money to fight Robert Easter. He said that he's going to want a certain amount of money, and he said he assumes that Robert Easter is going to also want a certain amount of money. And it was funny because Robert Easter, after he heard Mikey Garcia say that, he said, no one ever came to me. They never reached out to me. There was never any talks about money. There was never any talks about location. Robert Easter, he had said back then, he was willing to fight Mikey Garcia in his own backyard. He said he didn't really care about the money. He just wants to prove that he's better than Mikey Garcia, is basically what Robert Easter said about a year ago. And here today, Robert Easter is a man of his word because he's getting paid $500,000, half of what Mikey Garcia is getting paid, and he's fighting Mikey Garcia in his own backyard. Now you gotta think about this, guys. It's one thing to fight a guy who's not on your level in his backyard, you know, just going on the road. But when you're going against the best opponent you've ever faced and you're willing to fight him in his own backyard, that definitely says a lot about Robert Easter's confidence. We're gonna find out if this is gonna pay off for Robert Easter. I keep telling you guys this is a 50-50 fight, and it's funny because when I told you guys in a couple videos this was a competitive 50-50 fight, a lot of Mikey Garcia fans, they got really offended, they got upset. They said this is a one-sided fight, and if anyone even suggests that the fight is competitive, they believe that person is being biased, especially if you're on the coincidental list and you say this is a competitive fight. But as always, guys, at least 95% of the time, you will always hear professional boxers and trainers, at least the majority of them, corroborating every single thing that I say. And in this case, it's no different, because Mikey Garcia's own brother and trainer just came out and he said this is a very difficult fight. He said this is a very difficult fight because of Robert Easter's height and reach. He did an interview the other day, and the reporter was basically saying to him, well, did you guys study the Fortuna fight? You know, like basically the reporter, he was trying to suggest the same thing that a lot of Mikey fans have been suggesting. This is going to be an easy fight because we're looking at how Robert Easter looked against Fortuna. And Robert Easter, he answered the question and responded to it in a very intelligent way. Because he said, no, we didn't study that fight. He said, we're not going to study a fight where he looked his worst. We want to study a fight where he looked his best. He said, that wasn't the best Robert Easter. We want to see the best Robert Easter. See, that right there is someone who's using his brain and not basing things off of emotion like these decafs often do. You would be a fool to send your fighter in there telling him this is going to be an easy fight because look at how he looked against Fortuna. You guys don't understand, and I've been telling you guys this since day one. Styles make fights. Styles make fights. If Fortuna and Mikey Garcia were the same height, they had the same style, then you could say, oh, well, look how he looked against Fortuna, and Mikey Garcia has the same style, but Mikey is better than Fortuna. Then you could go off of that theory. But when two fighters have a complete different style, you can't go off of that logic. I don't know exactly how this fight is going to play out, but I do believe that it will be very competitive. I believe someone is going to get hurt. Something else Robert Garcia said in that interview is he said, we're going to see Mikey Garcia do something he's never done before, which is fight on the inside. And the interesting thing is Robert Easter is going to be inviting Mikey Garcia in because Robert Easter, he likes to fight on the inside. It's going to be a little bit of give and take. It's going to be a little bit of both from Robert Easter. I think from both, from Mikey Garcia and Robert Easter. I think you're going to see both fighters fighting on the outside and the inside. It's going to be that type of fight. It's going to be really interesting to see Mikey Garcia do something he's not comfortable with, which is fighting on the inside. And that's by his own brother's admission. That's something that he hasn't done too often. We haven't seen him have to do that. So this is another reason why I can't understand why people automatically suggest this will be an easy fight. Whenever a fighter has to do something he's never done before, that clearly suggests that Robert Easter presents new challenges for Mikey Garcia. This is why I believe somebody's going to really get hurt, because if these guys are fighting on the inside, there's more of a chance of somebody getting caught with something serious that they don't see. Robert Easter, he said that Mikey Garcia would be easy work. And when reporters asked him why he said that, he said, because there's no way he can outbox me. He said, so if he can't outbox me, it means he's going to have to come. And then he showed his six-pack, basically suggesting that he's inviting an inside fight. I'm starting to think this fight could look a lot like Robert Easter versus Richard Comey. And if it does, we are in for a hell of a treat later on tonight. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.